What is up, RPA champions? I am the RPA champion. You are an RPA champion, and in today's video, we are going to be doing something cool and new. We are going to be building a chatbot that is going to trigger a desktop process that we have. And to do this, we're going to be using all around Microsoft technology. We're going to be using virtual agents from the Power Platform. That is a solution available from Microsoft. And we're also going to be using Power Automate Desktop. We are going to send some commands to our chatbot, and that chatbot is going to trigger a desktop process. That desktop process is going to run and return some things to the chatbot that is going to be presented for the user. Now, why is this amazing and why is this so great? Because we finally have an interface that is just better than an app or an application. We have something that we can talk with or type with, and that can give us information or trigger processes for us. So without further ado, I'm super excited about this and to show you how I have built this and give you this knowledge. And I hope that you're excited about this as well. Give yourself a pat on the back and let's start this training. We are going to start from the beginning and we're going to search on Google for Power Virtual Agents. We're going to click on the Microsoft link and start for free. You will need a Microsoft account. If you don't have one, register.
It's going to be great.
I have already one and I will be using mine. So I will just get started. Once I click on get started, I will be redirected to the Power Virtual Agents page where I can create chatbots or see my chatbots. However, there's other ways that we can access our chatbot tool. We can access it not directly from Power Automate Flow where I am right now, but we can access it from the menu by navigating to Power Apps. And in Power Apps, there is a dedicated tab to chatbots. So here we can list all of our chatbots. So we can see all of the different chatbots that we have created. And we can also create a new chatbot from scratch. I will be going back to the Power Automate page and I want to show you what is the main button here. So here, this button allows you to visualize all of the chatbots that you have currently available in your Power Automate Virtual Agents, and it allows you to create a new chatbot. Now we're going to be starting from scratch and we're going to be creating a new chatbot. We will give this chatbot a meaningful name so that other developers or other users, when they use it, they're not going to get confused with testbot chat 1. So having said that, we're also going to select a language that we want our chatbot to use. It has a variety of different languages and we will see later on why that is important. Now we have to give Microsoft a couple of minutes to create the chatbot, to have it ready, configure all of the environment. In the meantime, I just want to comment that this is not the most advanced or best chatbot building solution that I have seen.
Yeah, you basic.
If I compare it, for example, to IBM Watson has more features, it's more user-friendly. However, Power Virtual Agents, it's in its infancy, and it also allows us to connect automatically to our Flows desktop and cloud. So that is amazing, and that is why we are using it right now. Now, there's a couple of things that we have to understand before starting building our chatbot. We have to understand what are topics. Topics are like intents. In other solutions, they're called intents. Here, they're called topics. And that is basically just what our chatbot is able to do. Our chatbot can do all of the different topics that we're going to add to it. For example, tell us the time, schedule an appointment, trigger a process, and so on. Now, our process or our chatbot is still completing to load. So right now it has completed to load. So now we will have access to the topics from before. If we look at the status, we can trigger on and off the different topics as we require them for the different for our process or for our robot right here. So we can add as many topics as we want, and every topic has different trigger phrases. So to start a topic with your chatbot, you need a trigger phrase that is gonna make your chatbot understand how to start. Now, trigger phases, you can add as many of these as you want, and you have to be a little bit creative to add a little bit of variety. There are some AI components that make this a little bit faster and better. We'll see those later. Now, if we go into the canvas, we can see what our chatbot looks like, and it's pretty basic. In the beginning, we have the trigger phases that start our chatbot, and then we have different blocks that are like messages. Here, we're going to test our chatbot and we're going to put one of these trigger phases, and we can see how all of the different boxes have executed or all of the different steps have executed inside of our chatbot. So these are topics. This is where you're going to be spending the majority of your time. You're going to be building your process or your bot within or your chatbot within the different topics. So you're going to have one topic to trigger one process, another one for another process, and so on. Now we have to understand also entities. Entities are also very important because entities help us capture input from the user. So by creating different entities, we can capture different unique input from the user. In here, we can see already some entities that have been pre-configured, like email, duration. We can capture all of these fields automatically. That means that we can capture all of this input from the user. The user can tell us their age and so on. Now, the other capabilities here, we're just going to go quickly through them. So I'm going to change the bot so that you can see a little bit of information from a bot that has been already created and that has some analytics inside of it. So analytics are very important for our bot because they will allow us to understand how the users are using our bot, where we can improve it, what is working and what is not working, what are the most used topics, and so on. Now, we also have to publish all of our bots. We'll see that later on. And we can publish our bot on different channels. Now, there is a variety of different channels. And now, channels also give us the ability to publish our bot to different places. Now, we can publish our bot to a web page, to a Slack channel, to a Facebook Messenger, to Skype. Let's see an example with a demo page. Now, if I open a new browser and I want to publish my process to a demo page, it is as easy as this. So if I try this, we are going to get an error, but that is because we haven't published our bot. Now, it is always very important to publish. Remember to publish your bot always before you want to make it available on the different channels for the users. Now, if I go back to my bot and I refresh this page and I try again, I should be able to interact with the bot. Now, we have to go back here and regenerate a new link. So we go to the demo page, we can copy this and go here and try this one more time. And let's see if this time it is going to work. So let's add the hello, and we can see that the hello has triggered the conversation with our bot that has been published, and now our bot is just as we want it, meaning that it has all of the topics that have been published working on the bot. Now let's create our topic that is going to trigger our process. Finally, after 7 minutes of overview and introduction about chatbots, we are gonna start creating what we are here for. Now we're gonna create different trigger phases that are gonna trigger our process. And in this example, I'm just gonna not use a LinkedIn bot but use a Twitter bot. The Twitter bot is just going to follow different people around. So what we're going to do to trigger it is just add different trigger phrases that I would like to type in when I want to trigger my process. So I think this is going to be enough for the trigger phases. Now let's click on the Canvas app and let's build our bot. Now in the top we can see we have our trigger phases, and in the bottom we have a starting message. The starting message lets the user usually know that we have understood their command and we're going to start executing or doing whatever they want. So in this case, we want to trigger a Twitter bot. It is good practice to also make the conversation fun and engaging for the user. So don't just add bland messages when you are creating chatbots. Don't be like me, add some emojis. Now let's add an action to call our flow. So far, this has been so simple. Now here we can see that we have variables. We have topic variables and bot variables. We're going to use this not in this video, but just that you should know, bot variables are available across all of your topics, while topic variables are only available on this topic. Now let's create a new action that is going to call our process. Now here we're going to create a flow. Now, when I click on this, I'm going to be redirected automatically to Microsoft Power Automate Flow. I'm going to rename this flow to make it something meaningful, such as Twitter bot, and then I see that I have 2 actions. Now, let's build our flow and connect it to desktop. Now, this is going to allow us to call any flow from our desktop. So I'm just adding a connector that is connected already to a machine that I have, a virtual machine, and I'm looking through the different processes that I want to trigger. Now, I want to trigger the Twitter process in an attended mode, and this is going to be it for our process. Now, we are going to save this, and this is everything that we have to do. We see that we have 2 steps that have been added automatically by Power Virtual Agents, an input step and an output step. In these steps, later on, we can pass variables and do other things, but this is pretty much everything that we have to do in Power Automate Flow. We have created a new flow in Power Automate Flow. Now, back in Virtual Agents, we can add this flow to our chatbot. So now when I go back to call on action, I can see that I have finally this action available for me to use right here. Now, once I add this Twitter bot, I have pretty much completed the chatbot. Now, I can add other messages as well, like congratulations message, you have completed this, the bot finished running, or return any values from the flow. But right now, let's test our process and let's see if it's going to work. So let's remember that we need to publish our process always, and let's go on to the different channels where we want to publish our process. So we're going to go to the demo website. We're going to put in a meaningful phrase that is going to allow us not only to automatically trigger our bot from the demo page, but also it will give some indication to whoever is using it what this bot can do. So we're going to save this, we're going to copy the link, and we're going to try our process out. You should be pretty proud of yourself. You have just created and deployed a really complex solution, a solution that via chat understands the text that you are writing and that is automatically deployed on this test website. Anybody can use it automatically, and it can start a process for you as well. So in this example, this process is going to be starting a process that I have on a virtual machine. So right here we can see the virtual machine is idle, and I have triggered the process by typing in Twitter bot and start Twitter bot, and now we just have to wait a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds for the process to be triggered. We can see that the process has started. It is doing as it's intended to do. So it is going to navigate to the follow page on Twitter, and it's just going to start following different users that it finds. Now, this is just an example of how simple and how quick and how powerful this technology is, and I'm really excited to be bringing you this training because we're going to be making a lot more videos about Power Automate Flow and Desktop and how they can work together. It is great to add an interface to our chatbots to make it easier for anybody to use, not just the creator of the bots. Now, this is an amazing technology. It also allows us to deploy it on a whole lot of other channels. We'll see this in more detail in the other videos. Let me know down in the comments what you want to see with virtual agents. You are an awesome RPA champion, and I thank you so much for watching. Without you, this channel would not exist. So I want to give you a high five and send you away on automating different things. Good luck automating, and have an amazing and wonderful day.